Okay, yogis, good morning. My name is Daniel. Let's try this again. It's Friday morning, March 20th, 2020. I'm here at the Emerald Aura Yoga Studio in Baltimore, Maryland. And we're just going to get started with a nice, easy wake-up morning class. We're going to work a little bit on the hips today, opening them up. We've got, I think, an emergency vehicle outside, so it's providing some nice lighting features. I'm not sure if that comes through on the camera, but hopefully everyone's okay out there. But we're going to go ahead and get started. So I want you to start lying on your back. So lying on your back, legs stretched out, arms down by your sides, palms face up. And I just want you to begin to just slow your breathing. Nice and controlled breaths. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Trying to equal your inhales and your exhales. Just see if you can tell how it feels to just have your shoulders on the mat, your hip bones, the bottoms of your legs, the heels. And let the feet fall out for now. And just beginning to bring your awareness to your breath this morning. Okay, let's start to engage those legs. So I want you to start to flex those feet so that your toes face up. And palms are still down by your side, palms facing up. But maybe start to engage the muscles in your arms as well, just gently. Keep flexing the feet, toes face up. And keep your feet hips width distance. Take an inhale. And exhale. Okay, now hug both knees into your chest, going into Apanasana. Hugging both knees in, wrapping your arms around either your shins or your thighs. And as always, if you can't quite hug your knees into your chest, you can always have your feet placed on the ground. Either way, you're trying to draw your knees into your shoulders, just gently now. Take one more inhale and exhale. Okay, let's begin to loosen up that lower back. So begin to rock left and right, just nice and gently, just waking up. Keep hugging those knees in. And let's just come back to stillness. Back to stillness in the center. Both feet are still flexed. You're going to clasp around your left knee, and you're going to extend your right foot out in front of you. Right heel comes down to the ground. Both feet are going to still maintain flexion. Toes are coming back toward your face. Take an inhale. And exhale. Let's switch that. Draw your right knee into your chest. Extend that left leg forward. Left heel to the ground. Take an inhale. And exhale. Switch that again. Left knee comes into your chest. Right leg forward. Take an inhale. And exhale, switching that up again. Left knee down, right knee back to your chest. Inhale. Exhale, one more time each side, hugging that left knee in, right leg out and straight. Both feet are flexed. Inhale. And exhale, switch it up, drawing that right knee into your chest. Left leg to the ground. Inhale. And exhale, draw both knees into your chest this time. Hang on to your left knee. Extend that right leg out again. Keep the right heel on the ground. This time, place your left palm on top of that left knee. Place your right palm down by your side, beside your hip, just to keep balance. And we're just going to slowly rotate this left knee, kind of drawing a circle on the ceiling. We're just gently opening up that hip socket on the left side. So try and maintain both sit bones rooted as you're doing this. and just go to your capacity. It's still early. And if you're just going one direction, go ahead and switch that direction. I'm just going to imagine drawing circles on the ceiling here. Let's just do that once or two more times. And come back to stillness. Hug that right knee back in to meet the left knee. Clasp your arms around that right knee. Extend your left leg forward this time. Left heel to the ground. Left palm comes down beside your waist. Right palm on that right knee. And let's just draw our circles. Again, keeping the shoulders rooted, the sit bones rooted. Trying to just isolate the movement in that hip socket. Just waking it up. If you're going one direction, go ahead and switch that direction now. A couple more rotations. And come back to stillness. Hug that left knee back into your chest. Take one more squeeze here. And exhale. Okay, we're going to roll up to seated. It's your way of getting up. You can either roll to your side and sit up, or if you want, you can try and clasp around your thighs and just try and gently roll up and back along the spine. 3 or 4 times, just waking it up, nice and gentle. And once you can rock up, go ahead and cross your legs. Come into a nice seated position. Again, if you ever have trouble just sitting up, if you feel like you're falling back, you can roll your mat up, give you a little bit of leverage. If you have some blocks, you can always sit up on a block. Sometimes I like to do that, depending on the time of day. I'm just going to sit up on a block here, keeping my legs still cross-legged here. And start with just your palms on your knees. Take an inhale. And exhale. All right, let's just warm up those arms. Extend the arms out and up, palms face each other. Exhale, draw the palms down to the center of your chest and down to the sides. Inhale, arms up, chest up, look up. Exhale, hands down to the center of your chest and down to the side. One more time. Inhale, arms up, chest up, look up. Exhale, hands down to the center of your chest and down to the side. Let's add a little gentle twist. Inhale, arms up, chest up, look up. Exhale, turn to your right. Arms go outside that right knee. Maybe this right arm comes back behind for stability, but still keep those sit bones rooted. We're coming back to center on your next inhale. Inhale, arms up, chest up, look up. Exhale, let's turn to the left. Both arms come outside that left knee. Maybe that left hand is back there for stability. Keep those sit bones rooted. And on your next inhale, come back to center. Both arms up. One more time, each side. Exhale to your right. Both arms outside that right knee. Right hand back for stability. And inhale your arms back up to center. Palms touch. Exhale, turn to your left this time. Hand outside that left knee. Let's inhale both arms back up. Exhale, hands down to the center of your chest and down to the sides. Okay, so let's just add a little side lean to that as well. So if you're up on your block, just be mindful. But we are going to side lean. And when we do that, I still want you to root down your sit bones as much as you can. So if you feel like one side is coming up, maybe just back off a little bit. So we're going to start by inhaling, arms up, chest up, look up. Now exhale your right arm down beside, extend your left arm up. You're trying to extend and lengthen on both sides of the body while still rooting down those sit bones. This right arm can come help just for stability on your fingertips, or maybe your palm reaches the ground, depending on what you're sitting up. Okay, on your next inhale, draw both arms up, palms touch. Exhale, drop your left arm down this time. Extend that right arm up, creating length in that right side. Take one more inhale here. And exhale. Okay, inhale, both arms up, palms touch. One more time, each side. Drop that right arm down. Extend that left arm up. This time, bring awareness to your right side of the body. Try and extend this right side as you're leaning. One more inhale. And exhale. I bring both arms up, palms touch. Exhale, drop that left arm down. Extend that right arm up. Again, try to lengthen this time on the left side of the body. Left side ribs. One more inhale here. And exhale. Okay, inhale, both arms up, palms touch. Exhale, hands down to the center of your chest and down to the sides. Okay, we're coming up to tabletop. So if you're sitting on something, just place that to the side. Now, in tabletop, we're going to be on our knees for a little bit here. If you like to put something under your knees to protect them while you practice, go ahead and do that. You can use a pillow. You can use an extra mat if you have one. Or you can always, sometimes what I like to do is just fold up my mat. Gives me a little bit extra cushion there. So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to have my knees here. We're coming into tabletop. So with tabletop, your hands are directly beneath your shoulders. Knees are beneath the hips. Tops of the feet are to the ground. Those are hips with distance as well. So you should be able to look back, and you shouldn't really be able to see much of your feet. They should be hiding behind your thighs. Spine is nice and elongated. Maybe you start to hug your navel up into your lower spine. Just gently pressing down through the base of each finger and each palm, lifting the armpits up. Slight tuck of the chin, gaze is 2 or 3 feet out in front. Take an inhale and exhale. Let's work in some cow-cats. So let's work in our cow. Let's drop our navel, send our chest forward, look up. Exhale, round the back. Draw the shoulder blades away from each other. Let the head hang. Reverse that. Inhale into cow. Arching the back, drawing the shoulder blades together. Head comes up. And exhale into cat. Rounding the back. 2 more times each side. Inhale, arch the back, draw the shoulder blades together. Exhale, rounding the back, shoulder blades separate, pressing the arms down, letting the head hang. 1 more time. Inhale into cow. Arching the back, chest comes forward, heart lifts. Exhale, rounding the back, pressing down, shoulders separate. All right, let's come back to neutral position. And now we're going to add a little bit of movement into our legs here. So, actively press down through those hands. And now start by extending that right leg back. Those right toes are going to face the floor. Now from here, we're just going to internally and externally rotate that leg. So we're going to externally rotate, which means the toes come out, those right toes come out to face the right side of your mat. And let's come back to neutral, right toes face down. See if you can now internally rotate. Maybe those toes come in a little bit. And return to neutral. 1 more time. Right toes come out. And come back to neutral, right toes down. Internally rotate that leg so the right toes come in. And come back to neutral. Release that right knee back down to the ground. Make sure your feet are still hips width distance, knees are as well. I'm going to switch to that other side. So let's now do the left leg. So extend that left leg back. Feet are flexed. And let's externally rotate that entire leg so the left toes face out. And come back to neutral position. And now internally rotate so that left toes face in. Come back to neutral 1 more time each side. Externally rotate, left toes face out. And left toes face back down to neutral. Now internally rotate, left toes face in. And back to neutral. Drop that knee back to the ground. Press your hips back to child's pose. Your version of child's pose. Knees together, knees apart, toes together. Either way. We're here just for a couple breaths. Okay, let's lift ourselves back up into tabletop. Again, use your knee cushion if you need it. Tops of the feet are to the ground. Arms pressed down. Now we're just going to add our arms in addition to our legs to this stretch now. So, begin by extending your right leg back, right toes to the ground. Extend your left leg forward this time. Now, while you're here, we're going to do the same internal and external rotations with the legs. This time the arm is extended, so we're only balancing on 2 now. And I want you to bring some awareness to your pelvis. Try not to move your pelvis. Try and keep it neutral as you rotate. So here we go. We're going to externally rotate those right toes out to the side, and internally rotate back to neutral. Internally rotate those toes inward, and come back to neutral. Externally rotate those toes face out, keep pressing the heel back. Come back to neutral, toes face down. Internally rotate those toes inward, and come back to neutral, toes face down. Okay, drop both your arm and your knee back down to the ground. Take a minute to catch your breath, and let's switch to the other side. So, this time your left leg is back, left toes face down. Right arm is forward, right palm faces in. Here we go. Externally rotate that entire left leg, left toes face out. Try not to move that pelvis. And rotate back into neutral. Inwardly rotate so those toes come in. And come back to neutral. Externally rotate, those toes come out, pressing the heel back. Return back to neutral. And internally rotate those left toes face in. Back to neutral position. Drop the right arm down, drop that left knee down. Press back into your child's pose one more time. Child's pose is always a good place to check in if you need a little breather. Okay, let's press ourselves back up. Now we're sitting in, back on our heels, and this is where you can use a block if you have one, if you need it. You're going to put a block between your heels. Maybe you need two. Just like this. It can be lengthwise or widthwise. You're just going to sit back. Just like this. I'll turn to face you now. Now you may not need blocks. If you just want to sit back without them, that's fine. Alright. Hips on the heels. Knees separate. Palms to the thighs. Take an inhale. And exhale. All right, let's loosen up those wrists a little bit. So let's lightly clasp the fingers together and just move your wrists in like a figure eight. Figure eight infinity symbol, just loosening up those wrists a little bit. Giving them some love this morning. Okay, let's switch directions in those rotations. Just keep it nice and loose. Don't want to be too tight here. And come back to neutral. Release the clasp of your hands. Place the bottoms of your palms together. And try and keep the base of your hands touching as you rotate around. Again, just loosening up those wrists a little bit. Keeping the backs of the hands together, backs of the palms as you rotate. Let's switch directions. Always good to check in with your wrists. All right, come back to neutral. Palms to the center of your chest. Take an inhale. And exhale, release. All right, we're coming back to tabletop just for a moment here. So, in your tabletop, this time you're going to curl your toes under, lift your knees up, lift your hips up. We're coming into our first downward facing dog. You may need to walk your toes back just slightly. First downward facing dog, go ahead and pedal out your legs. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Just waking up those hamstrings, those hip flexors, waking up the backs of the legs, starting to engage those arms. You're still actively pressing the chest back towards the thighs, trying to lift the hips up. Just keep pedaling out for another breath or two. And let's come back to stillness in our downward facing dog. You can be bent as much as they need. Okay, let's inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, bend the knees. Walk your hands back towards your feet. So keep your feet hips width distance. You're walking your hands back towards your feet. Letting yourself hang heavy. Knees are bent as much as you need to. We're coming into ragdoll. So for ragdoll, we're going to grab opposite elbows. Let our head hang heavy in between our arms. Again, knees can be bent as much as they need to. If you feel your knees starting to splay out a little bit, try and spin your inner thighs in and back to draw those knees a little bit closer. The idea here is to release any tension in the shoulders and the neck while still actively pressing those feet down into the mat.
Maybe you begin to straighten just slightly, or you can even rock left and right again, just easing any tension in that lower back. And let's come back to stillness. Let's release the arms down. And as you let your arms and head hang heavy, we're going to slowly roll up to standing, one vertebrae at a time. So take your time. Your arms and your head are going to be last to rise. Start at the lower back, one vertebrae on top of the other. Still, legs are engaged, feet are pressing into the floor. Rolling up nice and slowly. Head is the last to rise. All right, once you're up, just kind of shake it out. Maybe roll the shoulder blades up and back. Okay, now from here, come to the top of your mat if you're still at the back of your mat. Start with your feet hips width distance. Heels are directly behind the center toes. The feet are nice and parallel. Now at your pelvis, make sure you're drawing your tailbone down towards your heels. We all kind of have the tendency to shift our pelvis forward, so this is going to correct that, drawing the tailbone down. Try and lift those frontal hip points up to the front bottom ribs. Arms are down by your sides, palms face forward. Soften your shoulder blades away from your ears as you broaden your collarbones. Take an inhale and exhale. Okay, add some movement. Inhale, arms up, chest up, look up. Exhale, knees bend, fold forward. Stay here for a breath. In your forward fold, palms can come to the ground, fingertips can come to the ground, or maybe your hands are on your thighs. Now place your hands on your shins. We're lifting up halfway. Nice flat back. Slight tuck of the chin. Elongating the legs if you can. One more inhale here. Exhale, bend the knees. Place both hands on the floor. Bend your knees as much as you need to get the palms on the floor. We're going to step our right foot back. We're going to step our left foot back into plank. All right, now in your plank here, we're going to hold this for a couple breaths. If you ever need to, you can always drop to your knees and plank. Staying here, making sure your shoulders are over your wrists. Wrist creases should be parallel with that short edge of your mat or slightly turned out. One more inhale. And exhale. All right, drop the knees to the ground. Shift the torso forward. Bend the elbows back as you lower all the way to the ground, nice and slowly, forehead to the ground or the mat. Uncurl those back toes. Start to engage the muscles in those legs. Press the tops of the feet down, tops of the thighs down. On your next inhale, lift your head up and your chest up into baby cobra, drawing the backs of the shoulder blades together. Elbows come back. Take one more inhale. And exhale, release that forehead to the mat. Let's do that one more time. Zip up those legs, press those legs into the ground. On your next inhale, lift your head up and your chest up. Baby cobra. Looking for more length here rather than height. One more inhale. And exhale, release down to the ground. Curl those back toes under. Press yourself up into tabletop. Lift those hips up and back into downward facing dog. Now you're here for 2 or 3 breaths. So again, just begin to check in. Make sure those hands are shoulder width distance. Fingers are slightly spread. Heels should be behind those center toes. One more inhale. And exhale. Now inhale, gaze forward. Bend your knees. This time walk or step to the top of your mat. Feet are hips width distance. Inhale, lift halfway. Hands to the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Knees can bend. We're coming back up. Inhale, arms up, chest up, look up. Exhale, hands down to the center of your chest and down to the sides. All right, let's do that again. Let's bring it up to 1 breath, 1 movement. Starting to wake up this morning. Here we go. Inhale, arms up, chest up, look up. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins. Exhale, plant your hands down. Step your right foot back. Step your left foot back. Drop your knees to the ground. Shift the torso forward. Bend the elbows lower all the way to the mat. Uncurl the back toes. Inhale, lift your head up, chest up, baby cobra. Exhale, release that down to the mat. Curl the back toes under. Press yourself up in a tabletop. Lift the hips up into downward facing dog. We're here for 3 breaths. Actively pressing down the base of each finger and each palm into the mat. Trying to draw the heels down towards the ground. Lifting the hips up towards the ceiling. One more inhale here. And exhale. Inhale, gaze comes forward. Bend the knees. Exhale, walk or step to the top of your mat. Feet or hips width distance. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms out and up, chest up, look up. Exhale, hands down to the center of your chest and down to the sides. All right. So we're starting to get a little warmed up now. Now, what we're going to work on is our Warrior 2 pose, and we're going to transition to a bunch of poses from there. But to start with the alignment, we're going to start in wide-legged stance. So, face the long edge of your mat. Either way, we're going to switch it up. We're going to do both sides. And start in a nice wide-legged stance. That's about 1 leg's distance apart. You can also extend your arms out if you were to drop something underneath your wrists. That'd be right about where your ankles are. Now start with your feet nice and parallel, heels behind those center toes, just like what we do at the top of our mat in our mountain Tadasana pose. So once your feet are legs with distance, start to just gently kind of hug the legs in towards each other. That's going to turn on the muscles in your legs, give you a little more stability. You're still actively pressing down through all 4 corners of the feet. Take an inhale and exhale. Still drawing the tailbone down towards the mat. Now, from here, we're going to come into our Warrior 2 pose. So, I'm going to start on this side. This is my left leg. So, with your left leg, you're going to externally rotate that entire left leg from deep within the hip socket so that the left toes face forward, face towards the short edge of your mat. So externally rotate so that entire leg faces forward, toes face forward. Keep this left knee straight for now. Bring some awareness to your right leg now. Now you're going to internally rotate that right leg just slightly, just so that the toes are closer to the front than the heel. Now, from here, what we're looking for alignment-wise is this front heel should be lined up with the arch of that back foot. So if you were to draw a line between your toes and your heel down your mat, it should intersect with that back foot. If it's not, just heel toe your foot, left or right, just so that it's lined up. Just take a second to get that. Once you're there, go ahead and bend that front knee, bend that left knee, and make sure the knee tracks directly over that ankle. In addition, make sure the knee is tracking closer to the outside edge of that foot, that pinky side edge. You want it closer there rather than actually in. Now press back to that outer edge of that right foot. This time now square your shoulders to the long edge of your mat. Extend both arms out, palms face down. Fingertips extend away from each other. And now turn just your neck to look over those left fingertips. Take an inhale here. And exhale, Warrior 2. All right, let's bring some movement into here. So you're going to straighten your front leg, your left leg. Bring both arms up, palms touch, gaze faces alongside your mat. And now we're going to exhale, bend that front knee. Both arms extend out. Gaze comes back over those left fingertips. Let's inhale, arms up, palms up, chest up. Exhale, bend that knee, arms come down. One more time. Inhale, lift up, arms up, palms up, chest up. And exhale, back down to Warrior 2. Stay here for one more breath. Now we're going to reverse our Warrior 2. So you're going to drop your right arm down, lift that left arm up, kind of like in our side lean when we started, creating some length in that left side, but also that right side of the body. Keeping that front knee bent. Take one more inhale. And exhale, come back to Warrior 2. Now we're going to spin our arms forward and down. So spin your right arm forward and down to the mat. Come up on those back toes, lifting the back heel. You're in your modified low lunge. Now from here, see if you can press your hands into the floor. Lift your left foot up, send it back to meet that right foot. You're now in your plank again. And you can always modify your plank by dropping to your knees. Otherwise, we're going to stay here for a couple breaths. Again, palms should be directly below your shoulders. Wrist creases line up with that short edge of the mat, actively pressing the heels back towards the ground. Take one more inhale here, and exhale. Let's lower the knees to the ground, shift the torso forward, bend the elbows over all the way to the mat. Uncurl those back toes. Inhale, lift your head up and your chest up into baby cobra. Drawing the backs of the shoulder blades together. Stay here for one more breath. And exhale, release down. Curl those back toes under. Lift the hips up into tabletop and lift all the way up into downward facing dog. We're just here for a breath. So inhale, gaze forward. Bend the knees. Exhale, walker step to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms come out and up, chest up, look up. Exhale, hands down to the center of your chest and down to the sides. Okay, let's do side two this time. So if you want, you can face the other side of your mat. I'm still going to face the camera here, so we're going to do the other side now. The first side we did left foot forward. This time we're going to do right foot forward. If you did the opposite, that's fine. Just do whatever is the different side. So starting in a wide-legged stance, feet start nice and parallel with those heels behind those center toes, one leg distance apart. Actively drawing the tailbone down, drawing the hip points up. Now, we're going to start with this right leg. So externally rotate the entire right leg so that those toes face the short edge of your mat. Bring some awareness to this left leg as you internally rotate that whole left leg so the left toes are a little bit farther forward than that left heel. Now look for your heel to arch alignment on this side. I need to do a little bit of an adjustment here. Now bend that right knee over that right ankle. Make sure that right knee tracks to the outside edge of that right foot towards that pinky toe. And make sure that knee is directly over the heel. If you need to walk your foot a little bit forward to make that happen, you can do that. Now square your shoulders up to the long edge side of your mat. Extend both arms out, palms face down, fingertips extend away from each other. Now turn just your neck to look over those right fingertips. Take an inhale here. And exhale. All right, let's bring some movement into this. So we're going to inhale as we straighten our front leg, bring both arms up, palms touch, gaze comes to the side of your mat. Exhale, bend that front knee, extend both arms out. Inhale, straighten that front leg, both arms up, palms touch. Exhale, bend that right knee. Excuse me. Inhale, both arms up, palms touch. Exhale, bend that right knee. Arms come back to warrior two. Staying here for a breath. And now let's reverse this. So we're going to drop our left arm down, our left leg, rise our right arm to the ceiling. Keeping that right knee bent, making sure that right knee still is tracking to the outside edge of that foot. One more inhale here. And exhale, come back to warrior two pose here. Now we're going to send our left arm forward, shifting our torso forward, sending both arms down to the mat, coming up on that back heel, those back toes, lifting the back heel. Now, pressing down into the floor, lifting that right foot, sending it to meet that left foot. You're in your plank pose. Again, we're here for 3 breaths. So if you need to, just drop to your knees. Otherwise, make sure your hands are directly beneath your shoulders. Feet are still hips width distance. Maybe you try and softly hug the navel up into that lower spine. One more breath here. And exhale. Drop those knees to the ground. Shift the torso forward. Bend the elbows back, lower all the way to the mat. Uncurl the back toes. Zip up those back legs. Inhale, lift up into baby cobra. Maybe you come up into full cobra by extending the arms straight. Either way, you're drawing the backs of your shoulder blades together. And just gently lower down to the mat, forehead to the ground. Curl those back toes under, press yourself up into tabletop. Lift the hips up and back into downward facing dog again. Inhale, gaze forward, bend the knees. Exhale, walker step to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms out and up, chest up, look up. Exhale, hands down to the center of your chest and down to the sides. All right. So we're now going to work on a balancing pose. This next pose is called tree pose. Some people like it, some people it's not their favorite, but we're going to give it a try today. So you're going to start at the top of your mat, feet or hips width distance, heels behind those center toes. If you want to turn to face the camera, that's fine. Just make sure your feet are hips width distance. Feet are nice and parallel. Now in our tree pose, it's a balancing pose. We're going to balance on one leg. And really the key here is to hug that outer hip in. So I'll remind you of that when we get up. So we're going to work some external rotation here as well. So I'll mirror you. So I start to shift some weight into the right leg first. Now lift that left heel off the ground so that left knee bends. Now externally rotate that entire left knee so the left knee points out just to your capacity. If you feel your pelvis starting to shift, bring that back to neutral and just go out as far as you can. Now you can stay here, or if you want, you can wiggle those feet in so that the bottom of that left heel comes to that right thigh, that right calf. Stay here, or the next option is bring those toes off the ground, pressing into that right calf. Or if you want to, you can skip the knee and bring the leg all the way up into the thigh. Either way, wherever you are, I'm going to stay on the shin today. Once you have your balance, bring the palms to touch, thumbs into your sternum. Now here's where you need to really hug that outer right thigh in. That's going to give you stability as you press that bottom of the left foot into your right leg. Take an inhale here and exhale. All right, let's grow our branches. So let's inhale our arms out and up into a Y shape, nice long branches. Take one more inhale here. And exhale, bring those hands back to the center of your chest. Release that that left leg to the floor. And let's just shake it out a little bit. Shake out the arms and the legs. All right, how'd you do on that side? You're going to get another shot on this next side. So let's see if you do any different. Okay, now we're going to shift weight into our left leg this time, starting with our feet hips width distance, heels behind those center toes. As you shift the weight, come up on your right toes, right heel lifts. Now externally rotate that entire right leg out to the side. Again, if your pelvis starts to tilt, bring it back to neutral and just go out to your capacity. Now you have the options. You can stay here. You can bring that heel into your shin. You can lift those toes off the ground. Or if you want, you can come up, skip the knee, and place the bottom of that right foot into that left thigh. I'm going to come back to the shin for myself today. Now either way, wherever you are, hug this outer left thigh in, bring the palms together at the center of your chest. Get your balance here. Take an inhale and exhale. One more inhale and exhale. All right, let's grow those branches. Arms come out and up. 2 breaths here. One more inhale and exhale. Release those hands back to the center of your chest. Release the right leg to meet the left. And let's just shake out those arms and legs a little bit more. Good job. How'd you do that time? Okay, now we're going to come into our Vinyasa squat. So, you may need a block for this. It's always nice to maybe start with it to get set up. If you don't have a block, again, you can use a pillow, you can use a stack of books, or you may be able to do your Vinyasa without a block. I'm going to show it with the block to start. So I'm going to place this on my mat. I'm going to come down in front, starting with my feet hips width distance. I'm now going to walk them out to basically the width of the mat. So if you're doing this on this side of the mat, the block is going to be behind there for a seat, and the feet are going to be out to the width of the mat. Now, the toes are going to be a little bit wider than the heels to start. And you may play around with this once you go down and see how it feels. So, with your feet in this position, you're just going to bend your knees, squat down, and see if you can sit on that block to start. Just move around to wherever you need to. Now, palms come to the center of your chest. See if you can get your elbows inside your thighs. If you can't, they can just rest on top. Either way, wherever you are, if you're sitting on your block, if you're just hovering your sit bones, that's fine. you're still going to root down and rise to the crown of your head. Still looking to elongate that spine. If your arms are inside your knees, you're going to actively just gently press those knees out. Should feel the inner hip points just gently opening up a little bit here. Take an inhale and exhale. Now stay here, or if you want to add a little bit of a twist, you're going to release your right arm down. Left arm comes out and up. Turning that left shoulder back. Head looks up, gaze comes up. One more inhale here. And exhale, come back to center, palms touch. Stay here for a breath. And let's switch sides. So now left arm comes down, right arm comes out and up. Right shoulder comes back, still broaden through those collarbones. Gaze comes up towards those right fingertips. One more inhale here. And exhale. Release those hands back to the center of your chest. One more inhale and exhale here, and our Malasana squat. Okay, we're going to stand up, but again, take your time. We're going to straighten our legs. If you're on your block or if you're not, just stand up nice and slowly. Straighten those legs. Extend the arms out and up, chest up, hands come up, and release the hands down to the center of your chest and down to the sides. Okay, if you're using the block, make sure it's at the top of the mat. If you do have both blocks, make sure they're both up there. We might use them soon. Come back to the top of your mat here. So, from here, start with your feet hip-width distance, heels behind the center toes, just like we normally start in our mountain pose. Arms to the side, palms face forward. Draw the shoulder blades away from the ears. Take an inhale and exhale. Okay, we're going to come into our chair pose, so bend the knees, arms come forward, palms face each other. Take an inhale and exhale. Okay, bend forward into your forward fold. Legs start to straighten. Arms come down. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins, nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your palms to the ground. Bend your knees as much as you need to. We're going to step our right foot back. We're going to step our left foot back into plank. Drop down to your knees. Send the torso forward. Bend the elbows back, lower all the way to the ground. Uncurl the back toes. Inhale, lift up into your back bend. Baby cobra, maybe full cobra with the arms extended. Exhale, release back down to the ground. Curl those back toes under. Press yourself up into tabletop. Lift the hips up and back into downward facing dog. Now, from here, you're going to lift that right leg up. And remember, just like we did at the start of class, those right toes are flexed. Toes are facing down towards the mat. And now, from here, we're going to internally and externally rotate just one time. So start by externally rotating that leg so that the toes come out. Come back to neutral position. Internally rotate so those right toes face in, and come back to neutral. Now hug that right knee into your chest. Shift your torso forward. Shoulders are over your wrists. Drop that right foot wherever it lands, and walk it up to the top of the mat so it's in between both hands. Now both blocks are to the side if you want to use them. If you don't have blocks, you can tense up on your fingertips, or you can have your palms on the ground. Either way. Now from here, you're going to drop that back heel down. Dropping that back left heel down, and you're going to look for your warrior two setup. So, left toe should be slightly in front of that left heel. Right toes will be facing forward. Looking for that heel to arch alignment. If you need to, maybe you heel toe your foot over to the left a little bit, setting up for your warrior two. Now you're going to inhale, lift your chest up, lift your arms up into your warrior two pose. Now from here, you're going to inhale, spin the arms back, lift that right arm up, left arm comes back, reverse warrior, and exhale, come back into warrior two. Take an inhale here, and exhale. Okay, now from here, you're going to shift your torso forward, shifting that right arm forward. Now drop your right arm down, maybe to a block, maybe to the ground. We're coming into extended Utthita Parshva Konasana. That left arm is up, that right arm is down, either to a block. You're going to externally rotate that left arm so that left palm faces forward. Keep hugging that right knee out towards that right toe, pressing the back of that left foot down. Take one more inhale here, and exhale. Now press yourself back up into Warrior Two, and send that left arm forward, both arms down to either side of that right foot. Come up on that back heel. Shift that right foot to the right side just slightly. Now drop that left knee down. Uncurl those back toes. Tense up on those fingertips. Lift your torso up to Anjaneyasana. Now arms are beside your ears. Palms face each other. You still want that right knee directly over that right angle if you can. You're sending your pelvis forward as you're shifting your heart out and up. Take one more inhale here. And exhale, release the arms forward and down. Curl those back toes under. Lift that back knee up. Send that right foot to meet the back foot. You're in your plank pose again. Drop the knees to the ground. Shift your torso forward. Bend the elbows lower all the way to the mat. Uncurl those back toes. Inhale, lift up into your version of your back bend. Exhale, release down. Curl those back toes under. Press up into tabletop. Lift the hips up into downward facing dog. We're going right to the other side this time. So lift the left leg up this time. Flex those left toes so the toes face down towards the ground. Try and keep that pelvis neutral. And let's externally rotate so those left toes face out. Come back to neutral. Internally rotate that entire left leg so the left toes face in. Come back to neutral. Bend the left knee, shift your torso forward, drop the left foot wherever it lands, and then walk it up to the top of the mat in between both arms. Now again, this is where you may need your blocks if you want to help. And now we're going to drop our back heel down, setting up for Warrior Two, so those right toes are slightly in front of that right heel. And now you're looking for your heel to arch alignment. So if you need to, maybe you need to walk that left foot over towards the middle a little bit, making sure that heel matches up with that arch. Now from here, actively press those feet down. Gauge the muscles in your legs. Let's inhale, lift up into Warrior Two pose. Now remember, this left knee is bent. It's tracking to the outside edge of that foot, that pinky toe edge. Shoulders are squared to the side of the mat. Fingertips are extending away from each other. Take an inhale here. And exhale. Now let's reverse our warrior. Drop our right arm down. Lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. Externally rotating that arm. Take one more inhale. And exhale, come back to Warrior Two. Now spin that right arm forward and down. Both palms come to the outside, to the either side edge of that left foot. Come up on that back heel of those right toes. Maybe send your left foot to the left side slightly. Drop your back knee to the ground. Uncurl those back toes. Tops of the right toes to the ground. Tense up on those fingertips. Press down to that left heel, to the top of the right foot. Inhale, lift your arms up into your Anjaneyasana on this side. Palms face each other, arms are by your ears. You're sending your pelvis forward as you're lifting your heart up, chest up. Left knee should still be tracking over that left heel. Take one more inhale. And exhale, release the arms forward and down. Curl those right toes under, lift that right knee up. Send that left foot to meet the back foot. We're in our plank, last plank of the day. Take one more inhale here. And exhale. Drop those knees to the ground. Shift the torso forward. Bend the elbows lower all the way to the mat. Uncurl those back toes. Inhale, lift up into baby cobra. And exhale, release to the ground. Curl the back toes under. Press yourself up into your tabletop. Lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Last downward facing dog of the day. Stay for one more inhale. And exhale. Inhale, gaze comes forward. Bend the knees. Exhale, walk or step to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Coming back into our chair pose, so keep the knees bent, arms come forward, palms face each other. Exhale, extend the legs straight. Drop the palms to the center of your chest and down to the sides. Great job. Okay, go ahead and meet me on the ground in our child's pose one last time. Your version of child's pose. Knees and big toes can touch. Keep the big toes touching, separate the knees out to the side. Or if you want, knees and feet can be hips width distance. Pressing your hips back towards your heels. Forehead to the mat. If your forehead doesn't quite meet the mat, you can use a block. And just begin to slow your breathing here. Okay, begin to press yourself back up. Release that block if you're using it. Walk your hands back up. We're going to send our feet out to the side and out in front of us. Both feet are out in front of us. Now we're going to add a little twist here. So once you start by bending your left knee, bottom of the foot comes in towards your right thigh. Now from here, you're going to slightly turn your torso over that right foot. Root down the sit bones, raise through the crown of your head. Inhale, both arms up. And exhale, just get a nice, gentle forward fold. Now keep the spine elongated so you don't want to curl too much. Send your heart towards your toes. Maybe the hands come to the ground or up on your fingertips, or maybe you're staying upright, keeping the back nice and long. One more inhale and exhale. Okay, lift your torso back up. Bring that right knee back up. Send that right foot to the outside edge of that left knee this time. Now inhale, both arms up. Exhale, turn towards your left. Both arms come outside that left knee. Left hand is back there for stability. Maybe that right arm helps to deepen the twist. One more inhale here. And exhale. Okay, both arms up. Send your torso back to center. Exhale, hands come to the center of your chest and down to the side. Extend that left leg back forward. Now we're going to bend that right knee. Drop that right knee out to the side. Bottom of the right foot presses into that left thigh, just like in our tree pose. Root down those sit bones, raise to the crown of the head. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Keeping the back nice and elongated. Sending your heart towards your toes. Keeping those right toes, or those left toes flexed. Maybe your fingertips come to the ground, maybe your palms. And you might just be staying upright. One more inhale here. And exhale. All right, gently walk yourself back up. Lift that right knee back up. Send that right foot to the outside of that left knee. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, turn toward your left side this time. Your right side this time. Both arms are outside that right knee. Right arm comes back for stability. The left arm maybe helps to deepen the twist. Take one more inhale to lengthen. And exhale to twist. Okay, inhale yourself back to center, both arms up. Exhale, hands down to the center of your chest and palms down to the side. Extend that left leg forward. Now, if you're not at the top of the mat, just scoot yourself so you're at the top. Knees are bent. We're rolling down onto our backs. Come down your way. You can either hold on to your thighs, hold on to your shins, or if you want one last challenge, palms face forward. I'm going to hold on to my thighs this time. We're just going to gently roll onto our backs. And once you arrive on your back, extend both legs forward. Arms are down by the sides, palms face up. Let those knees and those feet fall out to the side. We're coming down into our Shavasana pose. staying on your back. Now's the time to release any last little bit of tension. And just letting your body hang heavy and melting into the mat. Okay, begin to bring some awareness back into your body. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Begin to rotate your wrists and your ankles. And gently switch directions in those rotations. And come back to stillness for one last breath here. Okay, and just gently begin to slightly bend your knees as you keep your feet on the ground. And just roll over to one side, your favorite side, whichever feels right today. Rolling over to one side of your body. Take one last breath here. Try to keep your gaze closed or your eyes softened as you use your top arm to press yourself up into a nice, comfortable seated position to complete our practice today. With your legs crossed, you can have your palms on top of your knees face down. Palms can face up, or you can bring the palms to the center of your chest. Thank you for practicing with me this morning. The light and love in me acknowledges and honors the light and love in each one of you. Thank you. Peace. Thank you all for joining me today for practice. Great way to start the Friday morning. We're going to have one more session here this evening, Friday evening, and then we're going to take a look at the schedule and see what makes sense. If you have any questions, leave them in the chat, or there should be two email addresses at the emeraldaurayoga.com link, which should be in the description. So if you have any questions, any feedback, if you like these schedules, if you like this time, if you'd rather have a different time, you can let us know. Again, we're just trying to stream this so we can bring yoga to you in the comfort of your living room while we're all stuck inside during this quarantine time. So again, I'm here at Emerald Aura Yoga Studio. My name is Daniel Schleig. If you want to give any donations, we're partnering with Movable Feast. That link should be in the description as well. Otherwise, enjoy your Friday and enjoy your weekend coming up. Stay clean. Thank you. Peace.